Ferrari, an Italian name synonymous with motor racing. But in the last 10 years, a name that has been eclipsed in its own field by an equally famous Italian brand, Benetton. The clothing company, never afraid to court controversy in their advertising techniques, have built up one of the most powerful Formula One teams in the world. The most remarkable part of this story is that Benetton's success has been achieved under the guidance of two Italian men with little knowledge of motor racing. Alessandro Benetton is one of the heirs to the multi-million-pound Benetton Group, and Flavio Briatore is a former ski instructor appointed by Benetton to oversee the team. Before 1988, neither of them had ever been to a race, but when they later took charge, incredibly, they steered the team to 2 world championships. The English-based Benetton motor racing team now returns to the company's worldwide headquarters in Italy for the San Marino Grand Prix. In the opulent surroundings of the family villa in Treviso, President Alessandro Benetton is pondering on a few turbulent years in motor racing and a recent poor run of form that he hopes will soon end.
My family does not have a particular love for engines and cars. Benetton in Formula One was driven by the need to find an international vehicle to communicate in a coherent manner the Benetton brand on a worldwide basis. 1989 was the first year I got involved in Formula One. That's when I lived in London, and my father asked me to understand better the financial numbers of Benetton Formula. Then I had a less intense role in the management of the team for 2 years because I went to Harvard to get my MBA. So that was 1990, 1991. And that's when I get back to Europe again. And that's when Schumacher comes out.
The discovery of Michael Schumacher propelled the Benetton cars from mere advertising vehicles to double world champions. The catalyst wasn't Alessandro Benetton himself, but his appointment as managing director, Flavio Briatore.
Both himself and me understood nothing about racing, about Formula One.
The situation of the team was very poor. The team had no money, no finance.
The only way we figured out we could get out of that was to start selling to the sponsors, to our partners, something different than just performance.
Well, we done the marketing operation, if you want, but inside of this was a lot of work, because it's very, very difficult winning in this business because all the top players here, you know. Talking about Ferrari, talking about Mercedes, talking about Peugeot.
But Briatore and Benetton did beat them all, and his life was to prosper with the fortunes of the team. With the lifestyle to match his position, Briatore now takes a helicopter between his luxury Chelsea flat and Benetton's headquarters in Oxfordshire.
He's very, very clever. He is not afraid of taking risks.
He's quite important because he sends the money the first of the month. So I think it's also important to have a good relationship with him.
Hi.
If I don't see him much, then things are going well, and if things are going badly, I see him too much.
My role is make sure everything goes together, you know. It's, in one side you have the commercial side, the marketing side, and more important in the racing weekend is the engineering side. You know, you have the briefing, you know what happened to the driver, what happened to the car, and basically you need to know everything going on, like in any business.
Briatore and Benetton's Midas touch is showing signs of leaving them, however. Since Schumacher left for Ferrari in 1995, the team haven't won a single race. Despite an encouraging second place in Brazil, the winning formula is still eluding them.
Last season I saw it as a normal transition. We were coming from a couple of winning seasons. It was the first time for us. Perhaps we were not as concentrated as we were before. And so we paid the price for that. And clearly I hope that we finish to pay the price, although the results of this year do not make me very confident that that phase is over yet.
With the president's vote of confidence ringing in his ears, Briatore prepares for the San Marino Grand Prix. Within a short time, Briatore has built up great influence within the paddock. Alongside his Benetton involvement, he also has a financial interest in the Minardi team, and earlier in the season sold his Legier team to Alan Prost. Furthermore, he holds the contract for up-and-coming drivers Giancarlo Fisichella and Jarno Trulli, a major player in Formula One who still can't shake off his playboy image.
We're living out our fantasies, many thousands of us.
Yeah.
I mean, you're boss of a Formula One team, and then I open up the glamour magazines, and there you are with gorgeous women and all that.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
No anymore.
I'll bet.
He's passing them on to our side.
At the track, attentions are focused on Gerhard Berger. San Marino is his 200th Grand Prix, and the press and organisers are quick to latch onto it as a good publicity story. Briatore and Formula One Supremo Bernie Ecclestone have got a special presentation of their own.
You know, another Briatore cock-up, he said you'd cancel all this. This is for you. 200th Grand Prix.
From you.
From me.
Thank you very much.
This inside is what you're dreaming about, the World Championship.
Yes.
And this is the contract for next year, $35 million a year.
Thank you very much. Thanks. Very nice. Thank you. I still have to split the money with you with the contract.
As usual.
At Berger's press conference, the questions on his double 100 just keep on coming.
What's the difference in the paddock in Austria 1984? Less girls, more difficult for the girls to get in. Yeah. Tickets. Yeah. Bernie's too tight on tickets. It's true. Yes. 10 years ago it was great, you know. And what about the rest? What about the rest is not important, isn't it?
200 Grand Prix ago, you make your debut. What's the biggest change since 1984?
Any ambition to make 300 Grand Prix?
What keeps you going after all these years? What was the best you've experienced in Formula One?
How do you feel about this? Are you looking forward to it? And what are your plans for the future?
You know what? Walter can tell you everything about the 200 Grand Prix. I told it 6,000 times. I cannot anymore.
Berger's 200th race isn't the only big story to make the press. Rumours abound that both the Benetton family and Flavio Briatore's days are numbered in Formula One. To counter them, Alessandro Benetton makes an appearance to show his support for Briatore.
The team is crossing a phase where perhaps there is a need to have someone help understanding and assessing exactly what the current situation looks like, why it is what it is, and what we should do in order to improve it. And perhaps my position is always is today trying to give a contribution in that sense.
The specific technical problem facing the team is one Alessandro can only observe from the sidelines. The engineers haven't been able to find a way to get heat into their tyres. Hot tyres mean better grip, and therefore valuable seconds when the cars take a corner. With no fuel to weigh the car down, and only 12 laps allowed, the heat must be in the tyres, and they must be running at the fastest speed before they start the all-important qualifying lap.
We still have a problem of getting the temperature into the tyres when we have a low fuel. So obviously we done a lot of tests in Barcelona. We found some things that you can help. We believe we can do better this afternoon, but it's one of these characteristics of our car.
The tyre heat factor can even be influenced by the weather and the heat of the track, and so the first major decision for the team is at what stage during the qualifying hour they should send the cars out onto the circuit.
Good luck soon.
Yeah, we'll just give it a few minutes to make sure.
We're going to get 10 minutes, I think we were thinking of.
Yeah.
Maybe 5, 10 minutes.
Yeah, because the Porsche was running already. I don't think it's so bad. Maybe with this start have 1 or 2 runs with no fuel.
We need to get moving anyway because we have 3 runs to do before the break. Yeah, you've got no more than 10 minutes before you go out.
When the circuit is not too cloudy, if there is not too much cow, let's go. Okay, John, we'll just put the fuel in.
Alesi goes out for his first run and immediately finds he hasn't got enough grip.
Not enough heat, not enough
grip, not enough performance.
It was very strange to see the inside rear tyre spinning enough to put blue smoke off it, but they've really got to do something this weekend.
Berger is on the other side of the track and finding problems with the brakes put on his car by engineer Nick Worth.
Is there something wrong?
Yes, are completely wrong. It's just nowhere. The whole package is nowhere.
Was this checked out? Or?
Yes. It was all shaken down and checked, yeah.
Even the brakes?
Yeah. Oh, no. These are new discs. These are brand new discs.
You know.
But these are Type Gerhard. They're not Type, which is what you ran at Gerhard at
It's just the car doesn't stop at all. Yeah. I never, in 10 years, I never had a brake like this around here.
Okay, we'll have a look.
On the other side of the garage, Alesi is back in for a brief stop. His engineer is still troubled over which type of tyres will give the car the best grip.
Talk to me then, the old cacker. You got the wides. Do you want them on or not?
Please.
Yeah?
Yep.
You're going to run them?
Well, you're quicker. I mean, close them. What choice have we got?
Okay.
Are you not running them?
No.
Why not?
Because we've got to sort the brakes out. We've got to have big brakes.
That's
what it is.
Yeah.
It's not.
Well, Jean-Luc says the temperature's gone through the roof. If you do what you want,
Teflon.
We can do this test, but you know, I can't help you for the brakes because the brakes are just getting like white hot.
126.341 for Michael Schumacher.
Yes, very quick.
Berger goes out again to try and catch Heinz-Harald Frenzen's provisional pole position, but the brakes are still a problem.
Every corner I'm nearly spinning just from braking. John, we need to push more to catch our... We have a huge brake problem, and I don't think it's just here. Somewhere else, we lock the rear the whole time.
Braking can affect the way the car handles completely, and for a Formula One driver it's very difficult to understand why that is, because there's a number of things that affect the way the car behaves in braking, and they find it very difficult to decide when they have this feeling, is it the brakes, is it the chassis, what is the problem? And so for us engineers it's very difficult to, you have a very short time in which to look at the data, take all the information from various parts of the car and say, this is the problem.
Sorry, I cannot do what you want because I have no idea how.
With Alesi still struggling, managing director Briatore comes up with some thoughts of his own.
You see the Ferrari touching constantly the ground. It's fire in every corner in the straight. By Jean, you don't see flame.
We use a different material, though. It doesn't spark the same.
It's Alesi's last opportunity to record a fast time, and his engineers give him his final briefing. He's currently 14 places off pole position.
Let's wait a little bit.
I know, come on. That's what I'm saying though, John. You understand? You're just going to go, aren't you?
I don't understand anything.
Here's Jean Alesi, the Frenchman who has had a pretty torrid career. First of all with Tyrrell, where he really impressed. Oh, Dan, I certainly got it right that time. Torrid is the word, and off goes Jean Alesi, and out of the session.
As Briatore and Benetton look on disconsolately, they realise there isn't enough time left for Alesi to have another run. His pit crew have got a big clean-up job ahead.
All the gravel up the exhaust, for
On the other side of the garage, Nick Worth thinks he's making progress on Berger's car.
Yeah, I'm making a change. I can see the problem. I'd like you to go straight out. I'd like you to run again now.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
So what's the problem?
Well, it's because the new brakes, we were too much on the front.
Berger goes out, but Worth isn't very hopeful.
I've got no idea if this is going to work. The balance looks okay. We're getting tyre temperature. Yeah. It's just if we can put a good lap together. Yeah. You must be able to.
The change makes no improvement, and Worth and Berger are at their wits' end.
Well, we are nowhere. Just absolutely nowhere. You know, you go out, the car just slides everywhere, and just no way.
It's a mystery, isn't it? It's a complete mystery.
The Benettons qualify in the lowest position on the starting grid since 1986. Berger is 11th and Alesi 14th.
We know probably today we came out as worse as we have been in many years, but in reality we're not this bad. Tomorrow we're going to be much better. Of course, we're starting very much behind in the grid, so I'm not sure it's going to be so easy to catch up. Actually, I think it won't be possible. But of course, I'm not an engineer, so we have to let the people work. We need to have patience. At the same time, we need to put the right level of pressure on everybody in order to react to the current situation, which does not make us happy, of course. Does not make us happy, but we still got a smile.
There's no smiling in the engineers' meeting, where it's going to be a long night solving the problems. For the technical director, Pat Simmons, that also means, reluctantly, having to give a press release.
Disaster starting from 11th and 14th, but as we saw in Melbourne and Buenos Aires, I'm sure that in the race with the heavier fuel load, the car will be a lot more competitive. Best of a bad job.
Fantastic, I'd say. Really are struggling.
As the engineers face a night in the garage, Managing Director Briatore has to undertake the social duties that come with the job.
You have your public image, and sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, but you need to live with that. And sometimes you're doing something you want to do, but it's our job. I'm sure somebody don't want to wake up in the morning at 7 o'clock to go in the office. Go to the office because it's the job. And it's better go to this party tonight and go in some other one boring office, you know. The natural of the job is this one, or you take it or you leave it. For the moment, I take it.
Throw the towel in now. That's a long way down to 14 on the grid. That's true.
I might stay here.
Dankeschön.
Over breakfast, a fragile Briatore can't avoid the autograph hunters. When he leaves the hotel for the circuit, he'll find more problems lie ahead. Rain. All previous race preparations now have to be scrapped, and the choice of tyres for Benetton will be even more important.
Can you tell me what tyres Schumacher's on, Michael? No. Villeneuve and Fisichella have both gone out on slicks. Fisichella came straight through and went down again.
We've done a wet test. Jean's done a wet test, but Gerhard hasn't. So it's it's definitely a gamble.
The gamble isn't paying off for Gerhard Berger. Following the morning practice session, he's becoming increasingly irritable.
It is impossible to drive the car. It's impossible, this one.
This car is unfair. The problem is even bigger.
VK.
While Berger has seemingly dismissed the possibility of winning the race, Alesi is contemplating starting from even further back than his teammates in 14th. Alessandro Benetton assumes his position on the pit wall as the weather brightens up and dries the track. And for Alesi, there's a good luck kiss from his wife. Briatore watches the start from monitors at the back of the garage to get a good view of the battle for positions on the first corner. The dominant Williams takes the lead, but Alesi, known for his fast start, immediately moves himself up the field. As predicted though, Gerhard Berger can forget the race. His gears slip on the starting grid and he completes his first lap in 19th position. Early into his 5th lap, his troubled 200th Grand Prix really is over. Still on the circuit, Alesi is continuing his impressive progress up the field.
Larini is catching you, Larini, keep on pushing.
Alesi holds off Larini and Mika Hakkinen to claim 5th, but that's as much as he can do. After starting in 14th, he collects a creditable 2 points in the championship race. It's some consolation after the team's disappointing weekend.
I start 14th and I finish 5th. It's absolutely not what I want to do for Benetton, and it's a shame. At the moment we are working very hard to find a solution to start on a good place, and it's very tough.
We always try to live and manage independent, and we do not like to put pressure on things. I think that the only thing we can do is get to the end of the season, understand. First of all, we're hoping that it's going to be a good season. Understand why it's not been a good season, if it's been a good season, and talk with the management in order to make changes if they are needed.
With further failure in San Marino, the press are already predicting the changes. Most say Briatore's departure is imminent. Some predict the whole Benetton family will pull out of Formula One. In the next year in the fast lane, we follow Benetton's drivers to Monte Carlo, where despite the glamorous lifestyle, the pressure continues on and off the track.
I would like to get an answer because I'm sure they did.
It's very difficult, because if it was easy, we will not be in this situation.
It's completely the wrong thing to do, and you know that.
Do you want a steering wheel behind there?
No, I don't want the steering wheel, for God's sake, no.
And we meet test driver Alex Wirtz, waiting to seize a drive from the Big Two.
I don't want that they are injured, but maybe if they eat a bad fish, I don't care.